It's an incredible day today, Laura, and thank you so much for having us on so we can talk about it. Thanks to President Trump and the Trump administration, what he campaigned on, what he actually signed an executive order on, which was that men will not be able to compete in women's sports, was acknowledged by the University of Pennsylvania. We've signed an agreement with them, and we hope that that agreement is going to be a template for other universities who acknowledge that there is no room for men in women's sports.
Now, Riley, you have been a champion on this issue. You received an enormous amount of flack and criticism, some of it really vicious over the years, but you knew you were right, and President Trump and Secretary McMahon helped along the way. Without them, this would not have happened, obviously. Your reaction tonight, historic news from UPenn.
To say that I, of course, am grateful for Secretary McMahon, for President Trump, for even Attorney General Bondi. She's been fantastic at the Department of Justice on this issue is an understatement. I feel vindicated. I feel like pigs are flying. I feel like hell has frozen over. So it is a fantastic day, of course, for sanity, for common sense. But I think more broadly for women, for humanity, for the little girl that I'm growing inside of me right now that I will welcome to the world in just a few weeks. I think of her. I think of her future. That is what Donald Trump and, of course, Secretary McMahon and myself, that is what we are fighting for. So very, very excited about today's news.
Man, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, we have some huge news to talk about, and I tell you, this is a massive win for women and their sports. The woke activists for the next 10, 15 years are going to be crying into their pillows, and it just shows society is heading in the right direction. Now, we all know who Lia Thomas is, the trans swimmer that did absolutely terribly in the male category. It's actually quite embarrassing when you think about it, but he ended up transitioning and then started to compete against women, and he became the first trans woman to win an NCAA championship. But apparently these woke activists will look you in the face, no lie, and they will say, oh, the biological advantage doesn't exist, you're being hateful. Right, but not only that, and this is just crazy, man, women were also forced to share a locker room with this full-grown dude. They didn't give consent, and if they protested against this, they were offered psychological services to be re-educated. Re-educated. Mate, that is insane. The fact people genuinely thought this was okay is backwards, man. How we even reached that point in society is completely beyond me, but let's move on to the breaking news. Due to the actions of the Trump administration, the pressure they put onto UPenn, the university that Lia Thomas competed for, Lia Thomas now will be stripped of all of his titles. Trans athletes will also be banned, and they will also be sending out formal apologies to all female competitors who lost out to a trans athlete. Finally, this is the sort of thing we need to see, and let's be honest, it should have happened a long time ago. Now, before we get into this news, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, as always, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this article by USA Today. Penn to erase Lia Thomas records, ban trans athletes from women's sports in Title IX agreement. The University of Pennsylvania has agreed to prohibit transgender athletes from competing in women's sports and strip the record of former swimmer Lia Thomas as part of an agreement with the US Department of Education. Penn entered the resolution agreement Tuesday, July 1st to comply with Title IX, the DOE announced, as the university had been under investigation surrounding the case of Thomas. Who became the first openly transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I title. Under the agreement, Penn will restore the swimming records and titles of its female athletes that were broken by Thomas. The university will also not allow transgender athletes to compete in female athletic programs, and it has to send personal apology letters to impacted swimmers. Mate, this is the sort of news you want to see. Again, this is a massive win for women and their sports. This is how an administration gets things done. Just imagine if Kamala Harris had won for just a second here. Actually, let's not think about that. We don't want to. You wouldn't have got anything like this. But as we know, the Trump administration every single day is vowing to stop all the woke nonsense. But as I mentioned, you know, we should have seen this years ago. Those women didn't deserve to go through all that they went through just because some dude decided he wanted to transition and organizations and establishments played along. So many women had to allow this dude into their locker room because of all of that crap. And oh, by the way, don't you protest this, or you need to be re-educated on why this is okay. And even just talking about it, saying those words, you sit there and you think, what? That is how much power a few years ago woke agendas really had over everybody. But now, as you've heard me mention so many times, we are entering a time where just about every single person who has common sense is tired of it. They want to move on from it. Put that stuff in the garbage, where it belongs. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out some of the reactions to this announcement on social media from people like Riley Gaines, who, as we know, was heavily involved in the Lia Thomas clown show. We all know her story, what she's spoken out against, and due to her and other women speaking out against this is why we're here now. So they deserve a massive, massive round of applause. But she goes on to post on X, UPenn has agreed to right its wrongs, restore records to the rightful female athletes, and issue an apology to the women impacted by the man they allowed to compete as a woman. Our pigs flying. God bless Donald Trump. And then we also have Paula Scanlon, who has also spoken out about all of this insanity involving Lia Thomas, and she says on X, I wanted to take a quick moment to thank @Riley Gaines. She's become the teammate I wish I had in college. I was silenced, bullied, and unsupported by my teammates and my university. Today and every day, I'm grateful for our friendship and how much she helped me grow. And then on Fox News, she went on to say the following.
I think, again, this is a wonderful start. I think we've seen the Trump administration has been so strong on this. I appreciate their leadership in this issue. It shows that they really are doers. They're getting things done. They're doing exactly what they promised, and I'm so grateful for that. But I think this is a wonderful first start, and I'd love to see them keep going. And Secretary McMahon, I got to be with her yesterday at the White House when she made this announcement. I know she has wonderful things she'll continue to do in higher education, and I can't wait to watch it.
She's had a remarkable career and a lot of achievements, but this one, I would say, for Secretary McMahon and President Trump leading to this result for you and girls' sports everywhere. Hopefully there's more to come, and congratulations to you.
Yeah, I think every single person wants to see more of this across the board. Every single trans athlete who won a title in a women's category should have it taken away from them. You don't deserve it. You didn't earn those titles you won. You shouldn't be in the women's category. You cheated. And in the normal sporting world, when people cheat, they have to have those titles taken away. That's what we need to see from every single organization now. Just imagine if that actually did happen and they took all the titles away from these trans athletes. Boy, oh boy, the meltdown from the woke activists would be huge. And I think every single person wants to see it. But that is the end of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure there are going to be people in the comment section who have some really great things to say. If you have also enjoyed, by the way, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. And if anybody's still here and you're wondering why my setup looks different, why is there more echo, I'm actually out in America right now. I'm in Texas. So for the next 2 weeks or so, this is how it's going to be. Just bear with me, and then when I get back to the UK, everything will be back to normal. But enough of all of that. It has been your host JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.